season also.
But that's exactly the attitude, Al. That's why I think this Liverpool team is going to go on without... Forget the crowd, they're not going to be there. But they're going to want to go on and break records.
I was going to ask you, actually, do you think now perhaps rest players, or will he go for that 100 points, 107 points to conceivably get?
Well, if they were in
Man
the
City's record, all sorts of things.
If
Most
they were in
points
the Champions
won by...
League, Gary, I'd say I'd understand it more. But if I'm Mo Salah and I'm going for the Golden Boot, or if I'm Mane, or if I'm Trent, whoever it is, I'd be knocking on his door saying, I want to play these last few games, because you'd want to be part of the greatest team in Premier League history.
No Champions League, no FA Cup either. So
definitely
go for it. We'll see. So Liverpool could be champions in less than 24 hours. Match of the day is back tomorrow for the Manchester City-Chelsea game, 10:30 on BBC Two. Well, it's been a while since Alan Woodward and Tony Curry got a mention on Match of the Day. They scored the goals the last time Sheffield United won at Manchester United back in 1973. They might get a mention next season. Martin Fisher was at Old Trafford.
And that's maybe one of the few criticisms I can give the boys today, that we should do better. We have opportunities to play the final pass, the spaces, the great runs. We're one-on-one with the keeper, score. So we'll keep on working and being more clinical. You have to first and foremost not give teams an head start in terms of goal-scoring opportunities, and then you try not to give the ball away cheaply, which we did, and allowed good players to gain confidence, and to be fair, they did. And then you look at it and go, we've had a little bit of a decent period just up to half-time, where we got a foothold in the game. Not a great foothold, but some sort of foothold. And then we conceded the second just before, with a minute to go. Really, settles the game. We've had an opportunity on Emmett Burnley's second half, but any other result than an home win would have not been the right result.
To score 3 goals against Sheffield is not easy, because you know that they played really well this season. They've been 2 or 3 points behind us before this game, so I'm more than happy with 3-0.
There's a lot of thinking to be done between now and Sunday, and a lot of thought needs to go into that, and a lot of thought needs to go into it from the players as well, because if I was a player, I wouldn't want to see the season fizzle out, as it looks as if it's going to happen at the moment in terms of second half at Newcastle, and obviously, for big periods of the game tonight.
Well, Manchester United now unbeaten in 13 games in all competitions, and they appear to being on their way to being competitive again. Big improvements.
Definitely big improvements, particularly going forward, and the number of players they were committing for. I mean, at times had 5 and 6 players. I mean, when the team presses that high, this is what United want, because they've got the pace to hurt you. He puts it on a plate there, Martial, for Rashford, and he somehow doesn't finish it off. And there were so many times that happened, and they're playing with confidence, and they certainly look fresh. All right, Sheffield United were poor defensively, and they're missing big players, which is a bit of an excuse. But he looks so lively, Martial, in and around the box, in and around the 6-yard box, and he's finishing was superb. But look at the men, as I mentioned, they've got in the box ready to finish it off. I mean, if it doesn't fall to Martial there, it goes to someone else. Greenwood's in on the act as well. A little give and go, twists and turns, and again, look there. There's 6 or 7 that are in those attacking positions. But this was sublime. Little touch from Bruno Fernandes into Martial. Give, the goal, the pass into his path, and the finish. Excellent, and a hat-trick for him, and his first hat-trick in English football. Very, very good.
And 2 assists from Marcus Rashford. It's not just school meals he puts on a plate. United's remaining fixtures, lots to play for. I mean, possible Champions League place. Obviously, we don't know what's happening with Manchester City yet. It could even be 5th, but 4th is also reachable. They're in the FA Cup, Europa League.
Well, potentially 2 trophies, which would be a phenomenal season. Players playing with confidence, creativity. There was a strut about United today. If they keep playing like that and keep those players fit, they've got a chance in all of them. And against Norwich, of course, in the Cup, the way Norwich are in terms of conceding, they're going to fancy themselves.
People in front, I think the midfielder, the defensive, the keeper, we've been working so hard through the game. I'm happy for that, so we have to keep going.
It's the most difficult time in my career, and probably everyone in that change room. It's the losing streaks. It's so difficult in each game to keep that mentality, and we just need a little bit of luck, I think.
Well aware of where we are, and the challenge that we face. The challenge is to forget that position and everything that you're playing for and try and just play football. Easier said than done sometimes, because you know the consequences at the end of the season. But I'll back our players to improve, and I think it was a definite improvement from the Crystal Palace game in terms of intensity and desire, and defensive organisation was a lot better today.
We'll come to Bournemouth. Wolves first, so Adama Traore has turned into some footballer, hasn't he? I mean, he made all the difference when he came on. Was it 25 minutes to go at the weekend against West Ham? And he's unstoppable again at times.
Well, it was flat today, and I think sometimes you need a player to take responsibility, get the ball, try and make something happen, say, I'm going to be the one.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him play with this type of confidence since he's been there, really. I mean, it's as if he knows now what he is.
Yeah.
He's comfortable in his own skin. He takes the ball off, being strong, skillful, direct, and his decision-making, end product. When he gets in the positions high up the pitch, he's making the right choices. Left foot, right foot, he's popping up all over.
Yeah.
He's not one-dimensional anymore. I mean, he was fouled. Here you see him popping up on the left. You think he's going to go on his right. This is where he's at. You know, I can go on my left now, which is, for a defender, that's a nightmare, because the pace he's got. You know, you don't know which way to show him. And again, it was non-stop productivity and a threat in a game that was desperately needing it. And as the game wore on, and Bournemouth, who defended manfully at times, they got tired, they switched off, and of course, it only takes a moment. This one... a bit light. This one here, showing the skill in the middle of the pitch. Strength again. Good pass. Knowing when to play and when to run. And then the goal we saw at West Ham.
Similar.
Very, very similar. Look at that for a cross. What a header this is from Jimenez.
This is a great striker, really is good.
To the weekend, wasn't it?
Yep. Here we go again. Can he produce a cross? Yep. It's an easier header, actually, that one for Jimenez. But the goal today was a wonderful goal, and deserved in the end, because as the game drew on, they were the better team. But he was the shining light on it.
It's interesting to see them combine, obviously, Traore and Jimenez, because they're now up to 10 goals where, you know, one makes a goal for the other. And I'd love to see them get about 4 more. What kind of stat is that, anyway?
None of those goals were Chris Sutton's, you know that.
No, or Newell's probably as well. He's down there in third, fourth place as well. Bournemouth, blimey, they've been brilliant in the Premier League for a few years now, consistently comfortable, and all of a sudden they're bang under the cosh. Yeah,
I had a bit of a pop at them at the weekend, Gary, lacking intensity, but I thought there was an improvement tonight. They had a goal, they looked more organised this evening, but still don't look a threat going forward at all. One shot on target they've had in the 2 games, and Callum Wilson, got booked this evening, so he now misses the next 2 games as well. So,
under pressure. Newcastle's 3-0 win over Sheffield United on Sunday ended any fears of being dragged into the relegation battle. That's not the case for...
You wouldn't have thought it would be Andy crossing it for Dwight. You maybe thought it was the other way, but, you know, we just thought at that particular time to go 2 up top and see what they can do. It nearly worked, but, you know, we'll give a sloppy goal away, which is always disappointing.
For the majority of the game, I thought we were the better team. I thought they had a really good spell for 20 minutes after half-time, and you know, but our defensive display again has been good, and we restricted them to long shots. But we have to be more clinical, especially when we're on top.
It's a big club, Aston Villa. It's a massive club, and we, as the players and the stuff, and everyone around the club, fans as well, everyone wants to keep the club in the Premier League.
Yeah, that could be a very crucial point, couldn't it, for Aston Villa? They'll be probably a bit miffed at the way they gave the goal away, though.
Yeah, lack of concentration. He was obviously quite pleased with the way they defended generally, but this is really poor. Target there, too easily brushed aside. Mings has got to be tighter to Andy Carroll. House is too far over. The 2 centre-halves are nearly in the left-back position. Look at the hole between House and Konza, the right-back. Too easy. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good ball from Carroll, and the 2 subs combined well. Good substitutions from Bruce, but that lapse in concentration epitomises Villa's season in terms of conceding goals. Too often they let in silly goals, but they did show some spirit to come back.
You could say the same thing about Newcastle, though, couldn't you? The goal they gave away was
Villa. I thought Villa deserved the point, but it was a sloppy goal to give away. First of all, they let El Mohammadi run across the near post. He gets a header in, then Shelvey and Dubravka are all over the place, really getting each other's way and should clear or should save it. But as I said, I thought a draw was a fair result, and Villa did show a bit of character in coming back.
Was Steve Bruce won the fans over up there? Yeah, I mean, I know there are no fans in the stadium, so it's hard to tell at the moment. But generally, living up there,
I think with the squad that he's got, he's doing as good a job as anyone could have done. 39 points with 7 games left. Got a quarter-final, which we'll see at the weekend on Sunday. So I think he's doing a very, very good job. And no, it shouldn't have to warm to him. It's only because of the circumstances that he was given the job. But with the team that he's got and the position that they're in,
well, he's done equally as well as
Benitez.
Definitely, if not better, because the cup run.
And arguably better to watch. I think so. I mean, and sold his 2 best players just before he came in. No, well done. He's done really well.
Agreed. No team with 21 points at this stage of the season has ever.
These 9 games, when I spoke about the last period of the season, I really would like to see some of the best football ever behind closed doors. So I hope it's not a big competition and we don't have to do that too long. But tonight was for sure the best counter-pressing game behind closed doors ever so far, because it's just incredible what the boys did from the first until the last minute. I respect Crystal Palace a lot, but I actually, after winning the ball, I didn't want to be in their shirt tonight.
The free kick, you couldn't have struck it much more sweetly, surely.
No, obviously, I think it's what
It's always a chasing experience when you lose by a lot of goals. I think that a little bit unlucky with the fact that they got the second one just on the stroke of half-time. If we could have avoided that, but they played so well tonight and they were so powerful, and of course we've been severely weakened, not least of all losing Wilf Sahar in the warm-up. So it was never going to be an easy game for us, and unfortunately we came across Liverpool in the very top of their form, and unfortunately, we weren't able to match them in any way, and as a result they win the game comfortably.
Do you allow yourself to get a little bit excited now? In 24 hours you could be champions.
We know we're in that position, but I wouldn't say we get overly excited. I think a lot of us will just watch it tomorrow, not too overly excited. I think we know City are a really strong team, and we've got to prepare for the game next week no matter what. So whether they drop points tomorrow or not, we've still got to go there and try and beat them. So that's what's on our minds. If things happen to go well tomorrow, we'll obviously celebrate. But when push comes to shove, we've still got 7 games left, I think it is, and we're going to try and get all 21 points from there.
Indeed, and it's confirmation. Liverpool's 23rd consecutive league win at Anfield means that if Manchester City drop any points at Chelsea, or indeed anywhere else, then the title will, of course, go to Liverpool. And if it doesn't happen tomorrow at Chelsea, then Manchester City play Liverpool next week. So it's a magnificent display from the champions-elect, wasn't it? It really was.
Well, I thought after the flat derby, they showed a sharpness tonight. Tenacity in the play. It was full of quality, creativity, skill. Liverpool, what we used to see, the bar they've set was high, but they were back
again. That's 2 seasons. A terrific performance again, and once more, a constant threat.
Well, a threat from outside to win.
It's not just the football that they play, though, is it? It's also the commitment.
And that is everything good about Liverpool Football Club, and that sums them up for me. Not only this season, but last season also.
But that's exactly the attitude, Al. That's why I think this Liverpool team is going to go on. Forget the crowd, they're not going to be there. But they're going to want to go on and break records.
I was going to ask you, actually, do you think now perhaps rest players, or will he go for that 100 points, 107 points to conceivably
Well, if they were in
Man City's record, all sorts of things.
If
Most
they were in
points
the Champions
won by
League, Gary, I'd say I'd understand it more.
Yeah.
But if I'm Mo Salah and I'm going for the Golden Boot, or if I'm Mane, or if I'm Trent, whoever, I'd be knocking on his door saying, I want to play these last few games, because you'd want to be part of the greatest team in Premier League history.
No Champions League, no FA Cup either. So
definitely
go for it. We'll see. So Liverpool could be champions in less than 24 hours. Match of the day is back tomorrow for the Manchester City-Chelsea game, 10:30 on BBC Two. Well, it's been a while since Alan Woodward and Tony Curry got a mention on Match of the Day. They scored the goals the last time Sheffield United won at Manchester United back in 1973.
The last goal was the best one, and we'll run through it here, just break it down a little bit. Started off on the left-hand side, and you see first of all the vision of Sadio Mane, but I want you to